Testing 1, 2, 3. Hey everybody, welcome in. We got to talk about this pullback. We're seeing Bitcoin continuing to move downwards. How low will we go? And how long are we going to stay in this corrective zone? Pickle Rick, welcome in. Brad Brown, good morning. Good to see you. Welcome in, guys. On your way in, smash up the thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe button, hit the heart button, the like button, wherever you're watching and listening. We're streaming on multiple platforms: YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, Kick.com, Instagram. We're everywhere right now. We got lots to talk about and what is happening in this market. XRP Darling, welcome in. Juan 2, Boganoff stuff. Yeah. I'm glad you recognized the meme. Taco Pro 19, GM. Faustino, welcome in. Internet Juice, dump it. Yeah. Space Waffle, welcome in. Good morning, Ghazi. Yeah, absolutely agree with you, Internet Juice. No invalidation here. This is just your typical run-of-the-mill pullback and crash that squeezes or shakes you out, I should say, right? It puts fear in your hearts. And then you guys know what happens after that. David Johnson, GM from Scotland. Welcome in, David. Peter, good morning. Great to have you. E-Tron, great to have you. Guys, on your way in, smash the thumbs up button, smash the like button, smash the heart button, subscribe if you haven't as yet. We're going to talk about what the hell is happening in the market here. And we're going to talk about some news as well. But of course, there's a lot of fear this morning. A lot of people are like, what's happening? Bitcoin's dumping. Oh no, bull market's over. What are we going to do? TLDR, guys, it's not over. It's not over. This is just your typical pullbacks. And we're going to go through some charts and what different folks are saying. But this is par for the course for the crypto market, right? We know it's volatile. I've often given the analogy of this is like a pendulum. When you have a very strong swing upwards, it usually swings back and you have these really sharp corrections and crashes. Doesn't mean that there's any invalidation of the bull market, but this is how it works. And the volatility, you got to learn to embrace it, because you can't have the swing up like we saw in Q4, right? It just runs up really strong. You get higher prices. You can't have that without the swing backwards or to the other side, right? So keep that in mind. It's like a pendulum. Crypto Drunk, howdy from Montana. Welcome in. You know, I've never visited Montana. I have to. Crypto Drunk says XRP BTC chart looks amazing. Yeah, it does look amazing. We're going to take a look at it as well. All right, guys, let's jump into this thing. We're 5 minutes in here to the live. So we're seeing Bitcoin pull back. It's pulling the rest of the market with it, right? Bitcoin has that gravitational pull. It's the rising tide that lifts all boats. It's also the lowering tide that pulls out all the liquidity, right? We've seen this time and time again. So Bitcoin right now is sitting at 91,000 or just over it, down about 11% over the past 7 days. And when you look at this from a macro perspective, it's like nothing. Now, if you're looking at the hourly and daily and the weekly, yeah, you're going to be like, oh my God, it keeps going down. But when you zoom out, guys, and I always say, when in doubt, zoom out, nothing. This is nothing. Like, look at it. We've seen stuff like this in previous bull markets. Go back to 2017. Hell, 2017 was brutal because that was my first go around. We saw 30%, 40% drops. And we haven't been seeing anything like that this cycle, but maybe this is the first one where it's really going to shake people out and it's going to put fear in the market. Now, guys, those of you who are subscribed, what have I been saying for weeks? This thing could go down and touch 80K. It doesn't mean it has to, but as educated, informed investors, we have to be prepared for all scenarios. So we can't rule it out. And as long as there's no invalidation of the bull market. This thing has not gone back down below the 200-week moving average and all that, right? It's still above it. This thing, we just have to be patient. Essentially, we just have to be patient, let it find its bottom, and then we're going to move upwards. And what was I saying? That I believe we had to get a leverage flush out and a reset of the sentiment. And these greedy bastards are still greedy. This thing had moved to a neutral, the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. Now it's back to greed. I predict that maybe by the end of the day, it's going to move to fear, or by tomorrow. I think Bitcoin may have some further downside, but that I could be wrong. Maybe it bottoms out at 91,000 and we move upwards. The point is, none of us have a crystal ball, but just be prepared for these scenarios and don't move by your emotions. Just look at the data. Have we been invalidated? No, we have not been invalidated, and that's your major takeaway. And let the volatility do its thing. We got the inauguration coming up. I think post-inauguration, we're going to see probably the bottom settle in, and then we start moving, or maybe sooner, right? I know some people want certainties. They want absolutes. Tell me exactly when it's going to bottom and exactly when it's going to pump, like it's the lottery numbers, right? Tell me the lottery numbers. That's not what this is. This is investing. This is not gambling. Like you're going into the casino or you're playing the lottery. So we got to be patient, and we have to have a macro view. Now, one thing I was highlighting a couple of weeks ago was that the Bitcoin RSI on the daily chart, at least, was on its way down. And, we were in the overbought zone in November and December, as you can see here, above 70, textbook RSI, right? So we've been on our way down, and you can see here we're heading towards 30. What happens when we hit 30 or below? We are oversold. You see what's happening here, the setup, right? There's not much more downside if Bitcoin was to keep going down, but you got to be prepared that it may. And once that's there and it's oversold, guess what happens? Reversal. So be patient, guys. And we saw over 420 million liquidated from the cryptocurrency market in the past 12 hours. And one analyst, Phil Cohn, he actually has a YouTube channel. I followed him since like 2018, by the way. He says his target is set for Bitcoin to hit between 87,000 and 84,000. And guess what, folks? Healthy correction. Yes, we don't want it to go there, but it doesn't invalidate the bull market. And that's what I'm trying to hammer home here, because we got to go with the data and the charts, not our feelings and our emotions, not the sentiment of people crying on Twitter and screaming, oh no, what's happening? The other factor that's been putting pressure here, guys, the DXY continues to pump. I thought the top was in at 108. It just continues to go. Now the top is going to come in. And I know some of you are going to say, how has the DXY been pumping along with Bitcoin and crypto? Well, I highly recommend you go watch Raoul Pal's recent episode, Wrecked Vision, is the Banana Zone over? It really explains what has been taking place, and that the macro backdrop, as I always highlight to you guys, you got to pay attention to the macro. Since the election, the DXY has been ripping. Why? There's a bit of it is a Trump effect, but also there's a bit of currency wars happening between the United States and China. And part of this is Trump's negotiation with the tariffs. So there's a lot of macro factors that are driving the pressure, in addition to the timing of a normal pullback and cool down. You can't have the run up we saw from November all the way to December without having some sort of cool down. Markets don't go up in a straight line. So I hope you guys get that. You got to take all these factors into consideration. You got to look at the picture holistically. There's multiple puzzle pieces here. But the TLDR here, guys, no invalidation of the bull market. We're going to find a bottom, I think, within the next 2 weeks. As mentioned, the inauguration's coming up. Trump's going to get things rolling, right? He's going to probably put pressure on the Fed to continue to cut rates. They're going to do liquidity injections. And by that time, the RSI for Bitcoin may, find that 30 or maybe around 30, where it's oversold. It starts moving. The sentiment is reset to fear. And then I think by that time, we may see the DXY start to correct as well. So you're going to have all these puzzle pieces in line to signal the reversal. So we really, really got to be patient here, guys, and ride through it. Now, I love what Bill Barheit, founder and CEO Abra had to say. He said, don't let short-term market volatility fool you or distract you. The structural narrative right now is high growth, high deficits, and full employment. This doesn't tell the true story, in my opinion. Government-driven growth spends $1.50 to get $1 out, or to get $1 of growth. Private business spends $1 to get $1.50 of growth. Both generate jobs. One results in deficits and inflation, the other prosperity. Given these facts and the ever-increasing U.S. debt burden, bond markets aren't buying the growth story. Hence, Treasury and mortgage rates are out of whack with Fed policy. This will lead to more QE and more deficits to get rates down and cover ballooning interest rates. That will obviously lead to more price inflation. The only way out of this spiral is budget surpluses driven by private sector productivity and increases over a sustained period of time. In the meantime, you want to escape the debt spiral, you know what to do. So, as Paul Tudor Jones said in Q4, I think October of last year, they're going to have to inflate their way out of these problems. What did I just write about in my newsletter, guys? QE. They're going to do more liquidity injections. They're going to cut rates. They're going to have to print their way out of these problems because they're stuck in between a rock and a hard place. How are they going to fix the treasury bond yield stuff and the markets, really tanking and all these things, right? And in addition, combat inflation. Well, you're going to have to print your way out. Yes, it will lead to a bit more inflation, but there's going to be an evening out, if you know what I mean, as they raise the debt ceiling. So I don't see any way out of this. As I've been saying for the past year and a half, we're going back to QE. And I think the conditions, even with the California fires and all the things that have been going on, the narrative is there for them to start printing again. So we know what that means. Global liquidity will rise. We'll see Bitcoin and the crypto market continue to move up, in addition to the stock market. And speaking of the stock market, if you're curious what may be the next directional move, I shared this in my newsletter as well. Bob Lucas, great analyst, by the way. I met him in person a couple of times. He highlighted his expectations for the S&P 500 based on the weekly chart. And you can see here, he's highlighting a pullback, just like what Bitcoin and crypto is doing right now. But what's going to happen? We're going to find the bottom. We're going to bounce and work our way up, and the bull market will continue. When in doubt, zoom out. Now, once again, if you're looking at the 1 minute chart, the 4 hour, the daily, the weekly, you're going to be like, oh my God, what's happening? My bags and all that. Don't do that to yourself. Step away, zoom out on the charts, guys. So just, even go back to last year. Remember when people were crying about the Japanese yen trade crash? Now, that was something to almost be a little bit worried about because it was a truly big macro factor. But simple pullback, we found the bottom and we kept going. Same thing's happening here. And this is less severe, obviously. So, guys, when in doubt, zoom out. And before I share some additional metrics, hit that thumbs up button, hit the 5-star button, hit the heart button wherever you're watching or listening, guys. We're going to talk about altcoins after I go through just some of the macro stuff here. Let's see here. So once again, don't get shaken out, guys. This market wants to shake you out, and then it wants you to panic buy back in as the price pumps. I've seen it time and time again. And as I've been saying for weeks, and some people were criticizing me in the comment section. Oh, you were wrong. See, it's not going to 80K. It started reversal. It started reversing. But what did Bitcoin do? It faked us out. And I said that in the video. I said, watch how the market can fake you out. And it was a perfect fake out, honestly. So just be prepared. We may have some more downside. We may not. We'll just have to wait and see. I love what Dan from 360 Trader said. You'll realize you got a gift here soon. Problem is human psychology doesn't know or doesn't allow you to recognize it as such. So opportunity to dollar cost average, not financial advice. So please don't go buy because I said this. Go do your own research. I want you to do your research and say, hey, I understand the charts. I understand what's happening here, and I'm going to take a position. So I'm going to look to grab some altcoins. I think I want to add some more SUI to my portfolio. Please don't follow me because I said that. But I'm just being transparent with you guys. I may, my trade, I think SWI's going to do well. I see a lot of VCs backing it. So I'm going to use the opportunity to add a bit more to my holdings. I have a bunch of other altcoins. My ETH bag is good. My XRP bag is good. My Solana bag is good as well. So I'm looking to add, something that I think can outperform a lot of altcoins in the market. So guys, it's going to be a lot of volatility in my opinion. So just, be ready, be mentally prepared for that. Okay. So you of course, you're going to have people who are calling the top, right? The bears are shorting. There are people who are just pessimistic or they're cynical and they're just like, no, this thing is over, guys. It's done. See, I told you it was going to crash, right? You're going to get all types of comments without any data. Notice the people who say that they don't give you data. I'm going to give you data, right? Because that's what we want, how we want to invest, with a thesis, with data, with indicators, and much more, versus our feelings and our emotions. Now, the Bitcoin monthly chart, nothing bearish here or, invalid. There's no invalidation of the bull market. What I want to highlight is the monthly charts RSI. We have not even entered the green zone. Look at the past bull market tops, 2017, 2020, 21. We have not even entered there. So we're not even in that euphoric blow off top phase yet, which takes us into that green zone. So hope you guys see we're not seeing some of these indicators are not flagging that, oh no, the top's in. Okay, what are the whales doing, right? The whales we know are the ones who move the markets. I often share this data from Santiment, wallets of 10 plus Bitcoin. While they have slowed down their accumulation, they are not dumping. That's the important part. You're going to see, short-term peaks and valleys, but overall the trend is going higher. When this starts to go down, I'm going to be on a live stream or a video and say, guys, it's over. It's over. They're dumping. Panic. Sound the alarm. The Titanic is going down here, right? But while there may be some slowing down and possibly a little bit of selling, because you have some whales who played a short-term game where they sell over month over month, and quarter over quarter, which is fine. They do that along the way. There's no dump happening here. Second, Bitcoin supply and exchanges not increasing. We saw it increasing back in March of 2024 when there was that buy the rumor, sell the news event. So it is not going up. It is just plateauing right now. And it has been on the downward movement or trajectory over the past 4 months. So that's a good sign. Less sell side pressure. Bitcoin Pi cycle top indicator has not flagged or signaled. It's not even close to signaling. Now, there is some movement where the 111-day moving average is moving towards the 350-day moving average. Excuse me. But nowhere close, right? So notice we're looking at multiple data points now, not just one, but multiple. In addition, the CBBI chart, the confidence score, which takes into consideration multiple data points, is only at a 78 right now. Historically, it's been in the 90s upwards, right? And it tops out at maybe near 100 for when the bull market peak is in. We're not there yet. So once again, I'm not looking at one signal. I'm looking at multiple factors. And there are actually other data points that we can look at, but I'm making it simple here for you guys, right? So no indication that the top is in, and Bitcoin still sitting above a 90,000, could go down once again to about 84 to 88. And then you got the macro backdrop, which I think, like I said, will start to change as Trump goes into office. So I want to pause really quick before we get into the news to answer any questions and see what you guys have to say. Guys, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hit the heart button, hit the like button wherever you're watching or listening. Check out our sponsors, Uphold, BitGo, VeChain, and subscribe to our newsletter, 100% free. Link will be in the description. Also, grab a copy of my book, Rethinking Crypto, if you haven't as yet. So, folks, once again, the TLDR, no invalidation of the bull market, just your run-of-the-mill pullback and correction. Yes, there are some macro factors which are, driving additional sell pressure, but no invalidation. The different signals are not flashing that the top is in here. So I see some people saying the bull market's over, alt season's over. Alt season moves in phases, so just keep that in mind. The pump in the bull market doesn't go in a straight line, and if you just zoom out on the charts, you can see that there's nothing out of the norm here that we haven't seen in the past bull market cycles. So keep that in mind. Now, I know some of you are going to say, well, how do you know that? Well, I'm using the indicators and the data, right? Now, I could be wrong. I don't have a crystal ball, but if based on the data, not my feelings or emotions, this thing is still alive and well, the bull market, that is. So I think we still got room to the upside, and we're going to see this year higher prices and a blow-off top. And of course, the altcoins will follow Bitcoin's move. As they are right now, as Bitcoin's pulling back, ETH is pulling back. XRP pulling back just a little bit, not as much. XRP's actually been doing really well on the charts. But you're seeing, bleeding here. Look at Solana, Doge, Cardano a little bit. So this is par for the course, guys. This is par for the course. All right, let's talk about some news. Michael Saylor surprisingly bought more Bitcoin. He announced today that they bought, 2,530 Bitcoin for approximately $243 million at a price of around $95,972 per Bitcoin. This is crazy, man. They hold over 450,000 Bitcoin acquired for approximately $28.2 billion. As I've said many times, I have no problem with Saylor buying Bitcoin. What I am concerned about is the leverage, and I hope it doesn't crash. I hope nothing bad happens. I'm not, trying to say that that's going to happen, but this amount of leverage does worry me, and I don't think anything is going to happen in the short term. We'll have to wait for the bear market. That is where things could get tricky. But once again, I don't want anything bad happening. That would be pretty bad for the market. So I'm hoping everything works out well for him. This is interesting. Tether has announced they're moving their entire business and relocating, and will now be headquartered in El Salvador. So this is interesting. Paulo Arduino, CEO of Tether, I've had him on the podcast. He says, very excited for Tether Group relocating in El Salvador. El Salvador is the beacon of freedom, and Nayib Bukele is an inspiring leader driving the country with love, passion, and intelligence. It's an interesting move there. We got news that MoonPay acquires premier Solana payment firm Helio in $175 million deal. So MoonPay is actually partnered with Ripple. They've been doing some stuff with the XRP ledger. So they continue to expand their business. Really great to see. These are things that are healthy activities in a bull market. Mergers and acquisitions, expansions, funding rounds, and much more. So really, really great stuff. Okay, let's see what is going on in the chat. Taylor says XRP strength is crazy right now. Yeah, XRP's been, guys, this time around in this market, a leader. And it's giving me Solana vibes from 2023 and 2024. Very, very strong moves. And multiple traders and analysts are saying how bullish the chart looks. XRP just broke out of one of its bull flags. So it's looking amazing, guys. Really, really amazing. And I can't wait for it to blast through the all-time high, which was set back in January 2018. I remember taking some profits on that. Those of you, my OGs, who have been with me when I started my channel in September 2017, I remember taking some profits then. But I didn't fully understand the market, and I didn't take enough profits. And, I learned my lesson, though. And I finally figured out what I needed to do, have a cash out plan, know where I'm taking profits. And guys, I think we could see a $8 to $10 XRP this cycle, possibly higher. Boy, that's going to be pretty life-changing for a lot of people, including myself. So exciting times. XP Market, welcome in. Thank you for being a channel member. Appreciate you. Faustino says Solana is getting beat. Yeah, Solana is taking a beating right now, for sure. Yep. But the thing is with Solana, it temporarily broke through the old all-time high. But I think it's going to recover. But it's pretty rough. Ooh, yeah, actually, is this the 200-week moving average? Yeah, wow. It's got to bounce soon. Yeah, pretty bad right now. But I think, though, all of this will recover. We're going to enter that euphoric extreme greed zone where everything is going to rise and everybody looks like a genius, right? We've seen this time and time again. Skrilla the Gorilla says AVAX is at a 1,033% discount from $51 to $34. Yeah, I hold some AVAX in my portfolio, not a lot. But AVAX I think is going to be one of the winners, guys. It's getting really incredible adoption. So all the altcoin charts look a little rough right now because of this pullback. XRP Magnificent says that'll be epic. XRP to reach $8 to $10. Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, just to let you guys know, I'm being transparent. I'm gonna start laddering out, taking my profits as we go higher, because there's no guarantee, right? As always, there's no guarantee of certainties here, so just keep that in mind. James Baker says it's so nice how everything is coming together at once and in the midst of a bull market XRP. Yeah, James, I mean, it's been a complete 180 for XRP versus the last cycle. I mean, if you were here for the last cycle and the SEC's lawsuit really cut XRP's bull market run up short, right? And I think it would have done really well in the last cycle, but we all know what happened. But this time around, I think a lot of people, even the haters, are forced to even make content about XRP now. There's people who've said really nasty stuff about the XRP army and XRP as an asset, and now are making content. Look at the chart; it looks bullish. So that just gives me like further validation that this thing is going to run really hard, because the people who do chart analysis are forced to admit that, right? As much as they may not want to, they're just saying, "Man, this chart looks incredible." Joe Telly says, any thoughts on Polkadot? So I have a little bit of Polkadot in my portfolio, not a lot, nothing that, if it does really well, it's going to make me a ton of money or anything. But Polkadot, let's see here. I thought I had a chart up for this. Trying to see which chart goes back the furthest. Is it the Coinbase? Binance. I think Binance. Yeah. Okay. So Polkadot, I think, can do pretty well. It hasn't shown a lot of strength like Cardano, XRP, Solana, of course, and even AVAX, I think. But, the question is always, can it break its all-time high? I think it's possible. It is a top 20 coin, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see here. Yes, so it's number 18. It's still a top 20 coin. So I think it could still do well, but it has a lot of work to do to show some strength. If you compare this to, let's say, the some of these other coins, right? You just look at, for example, Solana. Solana has already went back and touched its all-time high. Polkadot hasn't shown anything right now. It's off the bear market lows a little bit, but there's not signs of strength, is what I'm trying to say. And if you look at, let's say, even the AVAX chart that we just looked at, AVAX, right? AVAX is at least up more. It's crossed the 0.236 Fibonacci level, right? While DOT has not. DOT has not even crossed that yet. So once again, not saying it's not going to run, because there are phases to this bull market, but it's not showing strength in the early phases like XRP and some of these other coins like Solana. So theoretically now, and this is not guaranteed, could it just rally to its all-time high for this bull market cycle? That's possible. I hope it breaks it. I hope it goes higher, because I do have some of these tokens in my portfolio. I hope it can go higher. But you have to be mentally prepared. Some of these tokens that are not showing strength yet may not have enough power or juice to go to new all-time highs, because they haven't shown the strength yet. And that's something to keep in mind, folks. Baldwin James says, hi, Tony. What do you think will be the bigger catalyst for crypto Gary leaving or Trump's inauguration? You know, it's interesting. It's kind of both, right? Because we know Trump is pro-crypto. He's coming into office, and inauguration on January 20th, and Gary's last day is on the 20th. So it's a combination of both, because they both fall on the same day, and it's a changing of the guard, right? It's a change of the regime. And I think it's just going to have this bullish sentiment. Gary's gone, new SEC chair coming in, Trump, who's pro-crypto, a pro-crypto Congress. All these things bode well for the market. And I'm glad it's multiple factors versus just one, because it just gives more strength from a sentiment standpoint and a psychological standpoint. Direct anterior hip says, keep rocking it, Tony. Thank you. Appreciate that. Task, if I'm saying that right, XRP price and chart is keeping very well in comparison to other coins. Yeah, absolutely. So like I was saying, it's a leader in, at least, so, you know, from what, Q4, what was it? Yeah, from Q4 last year, it's been a leader. If you recall, Solana was the leader in 2023 and majority of 2024. It's kind of cooled down then, and then XRP really ripping. Black Cookie says, my WLD was stolen from my Ledger wallet end of December 2024. Did you protect your private keys? Because there's no reason someone would be able to do that unless, one, your private keys got compromised, or two, the Ledger device you're using was that a legit Ledger device? So I would contact Ledger to see what's going on. David Dixon says, what do you think about Jamie Dimon's comments? Bitcoin itself has no intrinsic value. So are you talking about the recent interview he did? I watched a clip of it yesterday. I think it was published on CBS or something like that. I don't know if it was 60 Minutes. I can't remember which one it was, but yeah, Jamie is going to continue to say negative things about Bitcoin, and it's kind of it's part of his brand, right? As the CEO of the world's largest bank. But he's absolutely wrong, because Bitcoin is a store of value, a digital gold, and that can also be used as a currency. It's the original blockchain, and it's the most secure blockchain. And I know there's been a lot of comparisons, but Bitcoin, to take Bitcoin down because of how big it's gotten, it's very hard. And it's getting global adoption. So regardless of what Jamie's saying, that's his opinion, and he has a right to his opinion. But I always like to bring you guys back to reality. What is the market saying? What are people doing and saying? What are institutions doing? And right now in the United States, we got a Bitcoin reserve bill on the table, right? Senator Cynthia Lummis, Donald Trump backs it. So there you go. Abraham Flores says, any thoughts on Polygon Matic? So I do have some Matic in my portfolio as well. Let's see. Matic, I'm hoping it does well. But let's see how the chart looks. So Matic's chart, I got to be honest, not looking too strong right now. There was some movement in February 2023, in March of 2024, some good signs here. It was, showing some strength, but then it kind of collapsed. I don't know why. Maybe there was some negative news, but I don't hold a ton of this. Once again, not saying it's not going to run and that it can't break its all-time high, but at this phase in the cycle, if you're not seeing a lot of strength, that doesn't bode well for it breaking and going to price discovery, if you know what I mean, right? I would have loved to see Matic up at the 0.618 right now, even in the midst of this correction, that it would have been up here so that it has the strength to break through to go to price discovery to new highs. Again, it could easily do that when things go euphoric, but I want to see more strength. And right now it's not showing the strength. And once again, I have this in my portfolio, so I'm not trying to be biased here in any way. And as stated before, some of these coins may simply go back to their old all-time highs by the end of this bull market. Not saying that it is going to do that, but be prepared for that scenario. Sin City says, need more guitar videos, Tony. Yeah, I'm trying to, get back more into playing guitar. I'm a bit rusty. James Baker says, have you looked into the fundamentals of Chain GPT? Just listed on Binance, has grants from NVIDIA and Google. Perfect intersection between AI and Web3. I have not even heard about Chain GPT. I don't know what that is. Sounds like some sort of AI project, right? AI token project. I personally hold Fetch and Render, so I think AI coins are going to do really well. 1 billion max supply. Okay, something I'll research, but I don't know anything about it, so I don't want to say anything because I have no idea about this project. But I'll say from a macro perspective, AI tokens are going to do well. It's a strong narrative. We've seen these narratives in previous bull markets, like last bull market was DeFi summer. And obviously the early stages of this bull market was meme coins. And I think meme coins will continue to do well, but AI, I'd rather take my bet on AI versus meme coins. XP Markets, thank you for being a member. Appreciate your support, my friend. It says, thanks, Tony, for the great info. Really hoping this is the last step before the altcoin madness kicks in. Always appreciate your insights. Yeah, agreed, XP Markets. Something to keep in mind, I shared earlier, Bob Lucas's chart with the S&P 500. And we know crypto usually follows the S&P or the stock market, right? So I think after this respective pullback is done, we will find a bottom, and then we're going to pump like crazy. Again, guys, we're going to have another face melter come, I think, February into March into April. Then what do we usually see? A sell-off for tax season. And then what's the saying in the markets? Sell-in may go away, because the summer months are usually a bit, slow, and people are traveling and much more, right? Then what happens come Q3, you start to see a pickup again, and then it's Q4 mania. Doesn't mean it has to play out like that, right? There's no guarantees here, but based on seasonality, just like we saw, I was telling you guys at the beginning of September, Q4 is going to go crazy. What happened? Q4 went crazy. Is it because I have a crystal ball? No, because the seasonality and all these things are correlated with global liquidity. So we saw global liquidity was rising, and it all aligned with the stock market and so forth. So with our cool down here, global liquidity has retracted a bit. And that's why I'm saying as soon as Trump gets in, I think the ball starts rolling on liquidity injections, further rate cuts from the Fed, and much more, which will drive the markets bonkers again. And just be prepared. I think, unless there's a black swan event, I think seasonality plays out again, and the stock market and crypto is going to rip, and then the sell-in may go away. So that'll be another pullback, in my opinion. It may not be as big as the one we're in, or maybe bigger. Who knows, right? But then if everything goes according to plan with the 4-year cycle and the presidential cycle, then a blow off top in Q4. So just keep that in mind. Now, could a blow off top come by the end of Q2? It's possible. So that's where I'm going to be paying close attention to the charts and the data to see, do we still have room for further upside, or is this thing done? Show's over, music stops, right? So that's where we really have to pay attention, because as stated for the millionth time, we don't have a crystal ball. And anyone who tells you in absolutes, hey, this is exactly what's going to happen, please ask them for next week's winning lottery number, so I can go play the lottery and become a billionaire. Right? So just keep that in mind when it comes to investing. We're talking probabilities. I can't absolutely say this is how it's going to happen and so forth. No one can do that. So just be prepared. Keep this mental map of how things may go based on seasonality. Peter says, where do you buy SWI? It's not available on Coinbase. It is available on Coinbase, Peter. Which location are you in, by the way? Maybe it's location based, but I know SWI's on Coinbase. How's it going, RJ? Good to see you. Charles, welcome in. Andy says, January 20th, when Gensler walks out of the door, it will pump XRP. Then hopefully the lawsuit is dropped by the SEC, the new SEC chair, in another XRP pump. Yeah, that's possible. I think, I don't know if the lawsuit is going to be dropped. They may just go for the settlement. Ripple pays its fine and it's over. They move on, right? Thank you so much, XB Market. Really appreciate that for gifting the 5 memberships. Thanks, Gary. Oh, Peter, so you're in New York. I think New York is crazy, guys. They have this stupid bit license issue, so that can sometimes restrict your access to different assets. It's annoying. They have their green list of assets and much more. So, Peter, that might be the issue. XP, man, thank you so much for gifting those memberships. Amazing stuff. Peter, SWI is on Uphold, so one of our sponsors, Uphold. You can go buy SWI on there as well. But I think Uphold may have an issue in New York as well. So this is the problem with New York. So it really sucks, Peter. I know. You may have to ask a family member to buy it for you in another state and then just send it to you. It's really annoying. Other sponsors you guys can check out, BitGo, VeChain as well. All the links in the description. Sign up for the free email newsletter, 100% free on Substack. And by the way, guys, in my email newsletter, I include a lot of the chart analysis and data that I'm highlighting here. So, if you miss the live stream, you can always go to the newsletter and look at the data. Like I include the whale stats, supply and exchanges. I also include metrics like the sentiment around different coins, developer activity. So subscribe, guys. It includes a ton of data. I think you guys will get a lot of value out of it. So let me pull up some other data here from Santiment so you guys can get as much value here. No surprise, Bitcoin is trending number 1. Although it's negative sentiment is high because the price is down, right? Near 35%, but still overwhelmingly positive. XRP at number 2, it's positive sentiment at 50, negative at 34. So pretty healthy. Azuki, I don't know what the hell this is. Must be some new coin. Litecoin, Litecoin taking a beating here. It's negative sentiment and positive sentiment are pretty much tied. ETH is actually, its sentiment is pretty positive, surprisingly. USDT, based on the Tether news that we saw this morning, they're moving their headquarters to El Salvador. Hollow, with the ticker symbol HOT. I don't know. Is this Hollow Chain? I don't know what that is. Prom, don't know what the hell that is. These are meme coins. Woof. Yeah, these are meme coins for sure. Nano, Talk about a blast from the past. But Nano, its negative sentiment is at a 50. Whew, and its positive is at a 37. So it's taking a beating sentiment wise. And of course, your top gainers and losers by social volume, Koala AI. So you got a ton of AI and meme coins on here. But I don't have any of these in my portfolio, these meme coins I'm talking about. Very, very interesting here. Let's take a look at the ETH chart. I know somebody asked about ETH earlier, and I totally forgot to pull it up. So, ETH. Remember what I was telling you guys about showing strength? Even though ETH has been struggling from the macro, right? And right now it's down. Notice it's off the bear market bottom. This is what you wanted to see for Polkadot. Someone asked me about Polkadot. Someone asked me about Matic. This is what I would love to see for the DOT and Matic charts. Signs of strength, that it's been moving up, even if it's a slow incline rise, right? Nothing parabolic like XRP or Solana, but you want to see this level of strength, that it is not far from its old all-time high at this phase in the bull market. So I hope you guys understand that, and you understand that when you look at these coins, you have to take certain things into consideration of, are they showing strength? And is that strength taking them to a place where they can break through the old all-time high and enter price discovery? ETH is not far away, and I think ETH is going to break through as I think the next phase of the bull market comes, and then I think it enters into price discovery. I'm hoping it can get to 10K plus, but there's no guarantee, and I hold ETH. So I hope you guys appreciate that I'm not biased that just because I hold a coin, it has to do well and it must go as high as possible. No, I got to be realistic, right? I'm not here to tell you fairy tales or make you feel good. I'm here to just give you the information, and then you can make your decisions partially from that, because I want you to do your own research as well. The Architect Web3, welcome in. Andy S says, would a VPN work? A VPN could possibly work, yeah. Just be careful, because what you don't want to happen is that the exchange finds out, or they have something in their policy that blacklists you from there. So that's the only risk, right? But it could work. Now, I'm not encouraging you to use a VPN to do nefarious things, right? So please, I don't want anybody to get in trouble here and then come blame me like, Tony, you told me to use a VPN and do this and blah, blah, blah. It's your fault. So please do things at your own risk. Guys, hit that thumbs up button, hit that 5-star rating, hit that like button wherever you're watching and listening. We're streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, I should say, YouTube, Twitch, Kick.com, Instagram, and more. All right, so yeah, guys, TLDR, be patient. We still got ways to go in this bull market. And yes, we are in the final phase. We're in the final year where we usually see the blow up top, but this is not the end of the bull market, as some people are coming out and saying, right? There's the data, not my feelings or emotions. The data does not show this is the end. As mentioned, we talked about the Bitcoin monthly RSI, nowhere near the previous all-time highs. Bitcoin whales with wallets of 10 or more are not dumping. Yes, there's been some slowing down of the buying, some plateauing, but there's no dumping. Coins on exchanges continue to decline, and the Pi cycle top indicator has not flashed. The CBBI confidence score of the top being in is nowhere near the top, which it has been in the previous bull market cycle, and this takes into consideration multiple factors. And I think the macro backdrop with what's coming with Trump, with the return of QE, in my opinion, and now they may not call it QE, but they may say simply liquidity injections or whatever, right? It's going to come. The point is, it's just going to drive up asset prices, the more money they inject into the markets and the economy. So just keep that in mind, guys. When in doubt, zoom out. Don't panic. Now, if there is some sort of invalidation, I will come on here and say, guys, I was wrong. This thing is done. But right now, we are far from any type of invalidation. And as stated, we could see Bitcoin go down and touch possibly 80, if not 84K to 87K. And that will be very normal based on what we've seen historically. Look at the corrections from 2020, 2021, even 2017. This is nothing at all. So if this thing was to crash down to 50K, then I'll be like, okay, party's over. All right. So I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. And as I highlighted that the RSI, once that thing touches near 30, it becomes oversold, and watch for the V-shaped recovery there. It may not get that low, but it's possible that it does. Like if the move goes down to, or I should say the price goes down to 84, between 84 to 87K, then the RSI goes down, touches 30, whatever it is, bounces. And we continue, guys. The RSI shows you the strength, right? And anything, as a rule of thumb, this is textbook, by the way. As a rule of thumb, if it's above 70 and above, it's overbought. That's why you see these peaks here and then usually a rollover, right? Because it becomes overbought. It's just market sentiment and principles. When it's down here in the dumps, it's oversold. 30 or below is oversold. And this is textbook. This goes for the stock market and all these things. Then you usually see a bounce. You just look at it. So this is something, you guys, you can go on TradingView, pull up any chart, XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and look at the RSI. And you'll notice the patterns, the moves, and it can tell you how high some of these price moves might go. So for example, if we look at just here, right, in March of 2024, Bitcoin is running up to near 74K. Some people say, oh, it's going to keep going higher. But then the RSI says, wait a minute, you are super overbought. It's not going to stay there for long. And even if there's a bit more upside, it's not going to last long. So I hope you guys understand that. You can look at this yourself. I highly recommend you do. It's really revealing, and it helps you to understand the market better and what's happening. So that's why when people are like, oh, we're going to keep going higher and so forth, and I look at this RSI, I'm going to say, no, I don't think we have much upside here. And while the RSI can stay in the overbought zone for a good amount of time, sometimes, you know that some sort of pullback is coming. So this is how you can get an idea of the directional move. It's not the idea of timing the exact price and the exact date. It's very hard to do things like that. But if you can know the directional move, right? That, hey, I'm in the overbought zone. That means we are going to pull back sooner than later. Or we're down in the oversold zone. That means we're going to rally sooner or later. I hope that's helpful. Matthew Singer. Hey, Tony, caught my 15-minute break again. Welcome, Matthew. Appreciate your support, my friend. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up soon. Thank you all for tuning in. And don't forget to check out my subscribers, my sponsors, Uphold, BitGo, VeChain. Sign up for the free newsletter. As I said, guys, a lot of data and information is in there. It's 100% free. Grab a copy of my book if you haven't as yet. It's available in digital and paperback. The digital is like $10, so you can support me that way. If you bought a copy already, if you can please leave a rating and review. But guys, I'll leave it, with don't panic. Bull market's not over. No invalidation based on the data. Just get ready for more volatility, possibly more downside, and let's wait for Trump to be in office. And then, and this has nothing necessarily to do with Trump specifically, but when it comes to the macro, it's every president. They're gonna Trump's gonna have the Fed cut more rates, inject liquidity, all that, and a Democrat president would do that too. Now the good thing is that Trump is pro crypto, and he's gonna push policies that are pro crypto, and he has a lot of pro crypto people in his administration. So that's just going to add more fuel to the bull market fire, right? So we're setting up for some amazing things. Leon Knapp says bought 4.1 ETH. So Leon, that's pretty cool, man. You grab some ETH. I'm personally not grabbing more ETH. I'm going to grab some more SWI. Not financial advice, guys, but I'm going to grab some more SWI. Down near 15% over the past 7 days. I know some of you are going to say, why are you buying more XRP? My XRP bag is full, guys. I got some Solana, but I think I'm going to grab some SWI because the other thing that, and I'm sure many of you have looked at these charts, but SWI versus like ETH chart. Let's see if I can find that here. Is it not in here? Wait, let me see. SWI. Is there not much charts on this thing? SWI versus Bitcoin. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, just look at SWI versus Bitcoin. That's pretty strong. I think SWI versus ETH as well is pretty crazy, but I don't know why I'm not finding that chart. Ethereum. Let's do this. Ah, there we go. Wait, no, that's not it. Anyway, I can't find it. But anyway, you look at the charts of like against Bitcoin and ETH, and SWI looks really strong. But once again, not financial advice. I'm not telling you to go buy SWI, so please, okay? Matthew Singer says SWI versus Sol is juicy. Yeah, for sure. Seconds of meditation. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Benny, nice to have your knowledge drop on days like this, so you can all stay calm and educated. Yeah, thank you, Benny. I appreciate it. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for joining. As always, I wish you the best of luck in this bull market cycle, that you make incredible returns, some life-changing money. And as a reminder, even if you just walk away with some decent profits, that's a win. You didn't lose money, you made money, and learn from it. Try to grow the pot, right? I've often stated that I'm not only looking to make money in this bull market cycle, but the next one of 2028. Buying the bloody bear market bottom in 2026 and 2027, pack my bags, and ready for the next run up. I hope you guys find that useful. You got to zoom out. I don't do leverage trading. I don't do day trading. I just do macro investing, and that has worked out really well for me. Yes, you can swing trade quarter over quarter. I've done a bit of that, but the majority of my bags are macro. I bought in 2022, in January 2023. I've been waiting the whole time, right? My bags are up, of course, but I'm looking for higher highs and following the market cycles this year, blow off top, and looking to get as much profits as possible. So zoom out, guys. Zoom out, zoom out. It's so important to zoom out. All right, folks, I'll talk to you all later. Thank you so much for your support, and catch you on the next one.